You just finished a water bottle. You rinse it out, screw the cap back on, and toss it into the blue bin. You feel good. You did the responsible thing. But have you ever wondered what actually happens after that lid closes? Does your bottle really become a new bottle? Or does it just go on a very expensive trip to the same landfill it was trying to avoid? Here's the truth. Your bottle is about to go through something that looks less like recycling and more like an airport security checkpoint. And not every bottle gets to board the next flight. First, the easy part. A truck comes and picks up your bin. Some cities use one truck with a divider inside, trash on one side, recycling on the other. Other cities send two separate trucks on different days. Either way, your bottle rides along with everyone else's bottles, cans, and cardboard to a place called a material recovery facility. People in the industry just call it the MRF. This is where the real checkpoint begins. Picture a long conveyor belt moving fast, and above it, scanners watching every single item go by. These scanners are not reading the little number stamped on the bottom of your bottle, the one you always assumed mattered. Machines cannot see that number well enough to sort by it. Instead, they shine a special kind of light called near-infrared light onto each item. Every plastic reflects that light back in its own unique pattern, like a fingerprint made of light instead of skin. The scanner reads that fingerprint and instantly knows this is PE, that is HDPE, without ever needing to check an ID. So think of this checkpoint as an agent who does not care what your boarding pass says. The agent scans your actual identity and decides right there whether you are getting on the plane. Here is the biggest surprise of the whole trip. The scanner can identify your bottle perfectly, down to the exact type of plastic it is made of. And that still does not mean anyone wants it, because the real question at this checkpoint was never what are you made of? It was always, does anyone actually want to buy you? Bottles marked with the number 1, that is PET, and number 2, HDPE, are basically first-class passengers. There is strong demand for them, so they get sorted out and sent onward. Number 5, polypropylene, used to get bumped from the flight constantly, but demand for it has been climbing. Now for the bad news. Number 3, PVC almost never finds a buyer and gets pulled aside. Number 6, polystyrene is a nightmare to process and mostly gets rejected too. And number 7, that catch-all category for everything else, rarely has anywhere to go at all. These plastics might get scanned perfectly, correctly identified, technically recyclable in theory, and still end up right back on a truck, headed to a landfill, or in some states to a waste-to-energy plant instead. In other words, putting something in the recycling bin does not mean it gets recycled. It just means it gets a chance to prove there is a market for it. No market, no flight, no matter how clean you rinsed it. Now let's follow the passengers who actually made it through. The accepted bottles get squished into giant blocks called bales and shipped off to a reclaiming plant. There, they get shredded into small flakes. Then something clever happens. The flakes go into a big tank of water. The bottle body, made of peat, sinks straight to the bottom. But the cap, usually made of a different plastic called polypropylene, floats right to the top. Two different materials, one splashing pool, and they separate themselves just by weight. No scanner needed for that step, just simple physics doing all the sorting. If those clean peat flakes are headed toward becoming food or drink packaging again, washing and melting is not enough. They get pulled into a vacuum and heated until any trapped contamination bakes completely out. Only after that does the FDA review the whole process and send back a letter saying they see no reason to object to using it for food contact again. It is less a stamp of approval and more an official shrug, but in this industry, that shrug is basically gold. Finally, the flakes get melted down into tiny pellets the raw material factories buy to make new things. But here's the twist, waiting at the very end of the runway. Most of those pellets do not become a new water bottle at all. Far more of them get spun into polyester fibers for clothing, or turned into carpet, or made into strapping bands for shipping boxes. Bottle-to-bottle recycling is real, but it is actually the minority outcome. So next time you toss that bottle into the blue bin, remember you just handed it a boarding pass, not a guaranteed seat. Recycling only buys your bottle a chance at the flight. The surest way to keep it out of that whole airport in the first place is to simply need fewer tickets to begin with, one reusable bottle at a time.